I request all of you to please share your success stories on the Success Club as well, so that people who are not part of this session today, or people who are otherwise not in the groups, they can also listen to you. They can also get inspired by your stories. So that's what I would recommend. Kindly do keep sharing that. That is how the community grows, which Vikram was talking about. We all inspire each other. We all feed on the energy each one of us has. And that's the beauty of this community. We grow together, we inspire together, and we really achieve things together. All right. So coming to the topic for today, it's called 15 Secrets of Successful People on How to Manage Time, right? And this is a book which was written by Kevin Cruz. So I have taken the inputs from that book, and I'm going to share this with you. So one of the very interesting things which is in this book is that it has been compiled after taking interviews of so many successful people. There are 7 billionaires, 13 Olympic athletes, 29 students who are in the straight A category, and 239 successful entrepreneurs. So it is a research-based, finding which I'm going to share with you. And like it says, with some of these new habits, you can increase your productivity by 5 to 10 times. That is the power of how well some of these things can work in your life, right? So what we are going to cover today, we are going to talk about how to cure procrastination. 20 to 30% people have this habit of postponing things, delaying things. So how can we overcome this habit of postponing things in our life, right? The second thing we are going to cover is there are 3 questions which were designed by someone in Harvard, and it can save about 8 hours every week. So what are those 3 questions? We are going to talk about it. We are also going to talk about how to identify your real top priorities for the day. Then something which is very, very important for all the people who are professionals, who are business people, who are in active service life, how to get to 0 email in your inbox every single day. Then we will get into another thing which is called E3C system that will again help you boost your productivity. Another thing which is typical of us Indians is that we all feel the harder we work, the later we stay in the office, the better employees we are. And the same holds true for business people as well. They also feel that, unless they really work extra time, unless they devote those extra hours, only then their business can really grow. So that is something which is a myth, and we would definitely like to break that myth. Then how to run successful meetings like some of these best organizations in the world do, Apple, Google, and Virgin Group. And finally, how to conquer the social media distractions. Okay. There is a saying, the bad news is time flies. And the saying also says, but the good news is that you are the pilot. So you have it within you. How can you best utilize your time? Now, there was a question which was asked from many different people. And the question goes like this: what is the most important asset in your life? Is it family? Is it friends? Is it health? Is it money? Or is it time? Time.
Hi.
So please answer your give your answers in the chat box. Let's see what all you feel, which is the most important. Number one. Sunil says time. RP says health. Madhav says time. Del says time. Hema, time. Padma also says time. Manohar, time. Tulsi says health. Sadashiva, time and health, time. So most of you are veering towards time because in Shefali says family and time. Because why time is so important in our life? The reason is very simple. That if you have any relationship issue with your family or friends, you can always regain that relationship, that love, that affection. If you lose your health, you can always regain it unless it's a very serious illness that we are talking about. If you lose money, even that you can always regain in your life. And the only thing which you cannot regain is time. Once you lose time, then there's no way you can regain it. So if I ask you to focus on your breath at this point of time and take 3 deep breaths, let's do that, right? So even though we might have felt good about taking these 3 deep breaths, we might be feeling, contented, peaceful, but the fact remains, these 3 breaths are never going to come back in your life again. So that is what the value of time is in everyone's life. Now, let me also share with you a magic number. It's called 1440. Would anyone like to make a guess? What is this magic number?
Sir, is it the number of breaths that we take in a day?
No, not really. RP says heartbeats, number of seconds. Well, this number corresponds to the number of minutes in a day, right? And why we are counting minutes, not the seconds, is because each minute has a lot of power. In 1 minute, maybe you can do 30 sit-ups. In 1 minute, maybe you can send an email. In 1 minute, you can type a text message, whatever it is. So every minute is precious. And that is why, you could possibly write this number on a piece of paper and tape it on your office somewhere so that you can always see it and value, how each minute is important. Because many a times when we start wasting time, if there's a meeting which has been called for 20 minutes and it goes for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, nobody is really bothered. Nobody is thinking, that we are losing precious time. If someone invites you, you are working something in the middle of your work and somebody says, let's go out and have a cup of tea. So you go out and do that. But what did you sacrifice is not many people think about. So the idea is to let you know that there is only a finite number of minutes we have in a day. And if we would like to be efficient, then we need to make the best use of this time. Now, this is something which is a common picture in every office, every home, every social place we go to, every restaurant, bar. Everybody is hooked onto their cell phone, right? And it is said that we look at our phone for approximately 400 times in one single day. So can you imagine that you are looking at your phone so many times every single day. And this is something which is really taking so much of our time. Another statistics is almost 3 hours of our day we spend in, either chatting, looking at the social media, or doing whatever on our phone. This is again a huge amount of time. And if you calculate it in number of years, then almost 17 years of our life, or 1/3 of our waking hours, are spent doing something on the cell phone. So this is how a cell phone has really hijacked our lives. It has hijacked our productivity. It has hijacked our relationships. It has hijacked our focus and efficiency. So again, I would like you to remember this, that this is, you may want to form certain habits which restrict your time on how much time you spend on the phone and how much time you spend on the social media. So why having priorities is important in life? There's a Russian proverb: if you chase two rabbits, you'll catch neither one. Another saying is, things which matter most must never be at the mercy of things which matter least. So that is why you have to have the priority, and you have to decide what takes precedence in your life. Another saying, it is those who concentrate on but one thing at a time who advance in this world. Again, the power of focus, the power of concentration. Drive for the one thing on which you have decided, General George Patton. And efficiency is doing the right thing. Efficiency is doing the thing right, but effectiveness is doing the right thing. Peter Drucker. So all these sayings are pointed in only one direction, which is how can we, be focused? How can we make sure that we are focused on that one single task at any given point of time? Nobody is saying you should not have multiple priorities. Nobody is saying you should not have multiple to-do lists. But all we are trying to say is, at any given point of time, have one priority which you can do justice with. Once you have finished that, then get into the second, and then get into the third. So this is why it is called identify your most important tasks. So when you start your day, make sure you identify what is that single most important task that you are going to have during the day, and first focus on that. It is like, eat the frog in the morning. So whatever is most important, whatever you think is the toughest task, complete that first, so that rest of the day can go very well. Stephen Wozner says, I schedule a series of 90-minute jam sessions throughout my day or week, where I focus exclusively on one vital priority and nothing else. So this is one of the successful persons who is a podcaster and CEO of Predictive Return on Investment. And another person says, I have found that I'm most productive from 6 a.m. until noon. I'm up, fresh, creative, and that is the time I make crazy things happen. I do more in these hours than people probably do during the entire week. So again, make sure you utilize the first few hours of the morning on your most important tasks and get the best productivity out of yourself. This thing will surprise many of you. It is said, stop making to-do lists. Okay? Why? Because again, research has proved that to-do lists are not very effective. Maybe only 30 to 40% of the tasks on the to-do list get completed. Instead, what is recommended is use a calendar and schedule your entire day into 15-minute blocks. So it is going to be very, very challenging trying to fill, your 8 to 12 hours of your working day with each and every activity that you're going to do at different points of time. But this is, again, like I said, taken from billionaires, athletes, people who've been successful. They all work on calendar method. They don't work on the to-do list. So that is why they will organize, even if there's a coffee break of 15 minutes, they will schedule it 10 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. coffee break, right? If you're going to wake up at 5 a.m., that is listed. If you're going to do meditation at 5:15 a.m., that is listed. If you're going to do exercise from 5:45 a.m., that is listed. So everything goes in the calendar. Again, I leave it to you whether you will find this very practical or not, but try it out. It is said that it can really increase and improve your efficiency and productivity. Jordan Harbinger says that this is a saying by Jordan Harbinger, who is running a school as well, which teaches networking, relationship development skills. And that is why he says that if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't get done. If it's in the calendar, it gets done no matter what. Use this not just for appointments, but workouts, calls, email, blogs, etc. So that is the power of going on a calendar mode rather than just a to-do list mode. So this is something we've already talked about. You make to do the calendar in 15 minutes chunks, whatever you're going to do, whatever meetings you have, how much, when you are going to look at your emails, when you're going to take a break, everything is listed. Important items should be scheduled as early in the day as possible. We have talked about it. Don't cancel things to be done. Reschedule them if necessary. Let's say if you are getting late for your workout, don't cancel it. Maybe reduce the time. Instead of having a 1 hour workout, maybe you can have a 45 minutes workout. So don't cancel them as far as possible. And treat your time block calendar entries as if they are appointments with your doctor. They are that important. So many people will not miss appointment with their doctor come what may. They will always reach on time. They will always make sure that they're there. So this is how important the calendar activity is for making things happen. So we've already talked about it. It says if you do this activity, you are amongst the top 95% people in this world who actually achieve great things. Now, next thing is procrastination. How to overcome this habit of delaying things, of postponing things. And again, like I said, 20 to 30% people in this world have the habit of procrastination. So you focus on easier tasks. You obviously put the tasks which are tougher, which will take more of your energy and effort at a later time. So this is something which is, again, an efficiency breaker. People, when they come into the office, they will check email, they will look at Twitter, they will look at their social media, they will start messaging and stuff like that. This is the easy thing. And that is something which is going to cost you efficiency in your life. So one of the ways to overcome procrastination is to time travel. What happens is, we all think about how in future we are going to get slim, how we are going to get more efficient. We will start buying some of these gadgets which are going to be helpful for our efficiency. We will buy, the best of the healthy food, the salads and everything. And after a week, it is still lying in the fridge, because that is what our present takes over the future, objectives that we have. Because in the present, you enjoy eating food which is dear to you. If you're fond of chocolates, shakes, if you're fond of, some fried items, that is what you start doing. And the salad continues to keep lying in your refrigerator. So this is what is called time travel. So what you have to do now, actually, you start postponing for a later date. We always underestimate how hard it is to be our best self in the present moment. So one of the examples is, we were talking about the health goal, right? So some people, what they do is they will remove all the food which is unhealthy, which is not going to help them in their, health goal. They will either give that food away to somebody, or they will junk it somewhere, and instead stock their refrigerator with the food which is going to be healthy. So once you don't have the unhealthy food in your refrigerator, you're not going to be tempted to have it. So this is one simple way you can actually beat that procrastination thing, that I'll do it from tomorrow. Okay. Another thing is, if let's say you are having a busy day, and you, like we discussed, you are going to miss your workout by, whatever time, then instead of, let's say, if you are running 5 miles or 4 miles every single day, go ahead and do it 3 miles, but don't, completely cancel this activity. And this is something which many people do, that, oh, I've got late today, let me cancel my schedule for today and let me start from tomorrow. So this is why you have to be very, very agile in the present moment. You have to tell yourself, and you can even tell your spouse, that if you are going to miss out on your workout or something, he or she can pinch you on wherever that fat is which you want to reduce. And that is how you will get inspired to start, doing the things, rather than getting embarrassed in front of your spouse. The second thing, which is, a technique for removing or curing procrastination, is called pain and pleasure. So we do activities mainly for two reasons, either because of pain or because of pleasure. So if we are not excited first thing in the morning, if our dreams, our goals are not big enough, then that is something which reduces our motivation to complete the things that we have to do. And for, if ask this question whenever you have to do any activity, if I complete this activity, what is it that I'm going to gain? What is the pleasure I'm going to get after completing this activity? So if you are going to be on diet food for 6 weeks, what is the pleasure you're going to get? You will have a fantastic body, you will feel great, you will feel energetic, you will feel, your personality, your self-confidence will improve. On the other hand, what is the pain? If you don't do it, if you don't get into the habit of having healthy food, doing exercise every single day, then you will not feel good about yourself. Your self-confidence will be low. So that is why always ask yourself this question: what is the pain you're going to get, and what is the pleasure you're going to get out of each activity? In fact, the third thing that we are going to talk about is accountability partner. So in our earlier program also, we had discussed how important it is to have an accountability partner. When you tell someone that you're going to complete something, your chances of success improve by almost 2 times. So that is why make sure you always have someone you can make as an accountability partner. The fourth technique is called reward and punishment. In fact, somebody has made a website called Stick K, which means you stick to your schedule. And let's say if you break that routine, or if you don't stick to your schedule, you will end up donating certain amount to your favorite charity. So let's say you have made a commitment to yourself that I'm going to exercise 6 days in a week. But if you do not exercise 6 days in a week, instead of 6, you do only 5 or 4, then there's a certain amount you can decide, whether it is 500 rupees, $1,000, or whatever that amount is, it will go to your favorite charity. So that is another way you can motivate yourself to continue to do better. The next is act as if you have already achieved it. So this is, we've already talked about it, fake it till you make it. So you have to behave like the person who is healthy, who is efficient, who is productive, who is meeting the goals or the targets, like Vikram spoke about, in the morning. He motivates himself and saying, this is something I'm going to achieve today. And that's what he is able to do. And lastly, don't always strive for excellence. If you can't strive for excellence, at least do good, so that there's some progress that you are making every single day. We also spoke about the Goldilocks activity. So you move out of your comfort zone and do something which will take you one step closer towards your goal. Like I said, most of us in India feel the harder we work, the longer we stay in the office, the better employees or the better managers or the better leaders we are. But if you look at some of these people, like earlier CEO of Facebook, Sheryl Sandberg, she would leave work at 5:30 p.m. every single day so that she could have dinner with her children. Then Intel president Andy Grove, he would arrive at 8 a.m. and leave work at 6 p.m. consistently. Again, he used to say that the work never finishes. Even if you have, more number of hours you spend at the office, the work will continue to come. So you have to decide that this is where I'm going to stop and this is where I have to leave. Even the Virgin Group founder Richard Branson, who is managing more than 400 different companies, even you would have found him that he is always on his private beach. He is always doing so many different activities, but still the work continues to happen. And our own example in India, Aditya Puri of HDFC Bank, who recently retired, we all know he was also supposed to be a very stickler that he would leave office by 5:30 or 6 p.m. latest. In fact, there are also stories that he did not even have a cell phone for most of his professional life. He would not communicate with anyone after the office hours. And he made HDFC Bank amongst the largest banks, not only in Asia, but possibly in the world as well. So it's all depending on you, what priorities you set for yourself. Now, Richard Branson says one of the best productivity tools he has is his small notebook or diary that he always carries with himself. And whenever he has any thoughts, whenever he has any ideas, whenever he has any points which he would like to execute, he always makes a note of those things in the small notebook. So that is something, again, many of us, when we get an idea, we think, okay, I'm going to go back to my office, to my work, to my place, and then, work on it. And half the time we forget some of these important things that we have thought of. So make sure you always make a note of this. And that's how successful people do. In fact, Richard Branson has been, one story is that once he wrote at the back of his passport, an idea that came onto him. He didn't have anything else. So he wrote something on the back of his passport so that he could remember it, Greek shipping magnate Aristotle Onassis says, always carry a notebook, write everything down. When you have an idea, write it down. When you meet someone new, write down everything you know about them. That way you will know how much time they are worth. When you hear something interesting, write it down. Writing it down will make you act upon it. If you don't write it down, you will forget it. That is $1 million lesson they don't teach you in business schools. I spoke to you about the email thing. How much time we spend on emails. There are many people now with the smartphones, smart watches. As soon as there is an email, you will get an alert and you will start looking at what email has come, whether you have to respond to it or not. All these things are not in the best interest of productivity and efficiency. The simplest or one of the golden rules which all these successful people, which I said have been interviewed for writing this book, they have recommended a 3210 formula. You look at your email 3 times a day and for 21 minutes each. You try and accomplish as much as you can within those 20 minutes. And before you leave your office or your work, your inbox should have 0 unread or emails which have not been acted upon. So that is the thought which I wanted to share with all of you, that instead of checking your email every 2 minutes, make sure that you are always having specified time when you are going to look at your emails, and then devote a certain amount of time and try and clear as much as you can. Now, some of you who are actively working right now, this is a meeting hack from Google, Apple, and Virgin. One of the partners at Google Ventures, he uses a physical clock to monitor the meetings. So the clock is counting down. Let's say if it's a 20 minutes meeting, it will keep counting 19, 18, 17, like that. So everybody is aware what they have to accomplish within those 20 minutes. So that he feels is a very, very powerful tool to have an effective meeting. Steve Jobs used to have these walk around meetings. So he would walk around with people and discuss things while walking. That was a practice that he adopted, which has been used by some other people as well. And Marissa Mayer, the earlier CEO of Yahoo, and Richard Branson, they don't hold meetings longer than 10 minutes. So again, make sure you have as few meetings as possible, but all the meetings are really, really effective. One of the biggest things which hampers our productivity in life is the power of saying no. We end up saying yes to most of the things. And once we say that, we miss out on so many important things which we could have done had we said no to those things. So again, there are obviously a lot of psychological, emotional reasons why we don't say no to other people, because we feel that other people will get angry, other people's feelings might get hurt. We want to be liked by other people. Oh, this person is always helpful, always trying to make things happen for us. You don't want to feel that you are rude. We underestimate when we say yes how much time it is going to take. If somebody comes and says, oh, let's go out and have a cup of coffee, so instead of 5 minutes, it might end up taking 15-20 minutes, which is again a loss of very precious time. We are not clear on our priorities, otherwise we would have said no to them. And we like earning future return favors. We feel if we say yes to these people today, they will return that favor to us at a later point in time. Now, coming to the 3 Harvard questions that I told you, which could save up to 8 hours a week. The first thing is drop. What items can I drop? What can I stop doing entirely? That is the first question you need to ask yourself. The second question is delegate. What are the things that we can delegate? Many people end up doing the work which they could have easily delegated to somebody else, either a receptionist, either a junior employee, or some stenographer or whatever. So you end up doing the things which you should not be doing, where you can utilize your time more effectively. And the third is redesign. What do I need to continue doing, but do it in a new and more efficient way? So just by asking these 3 questions, you can really save a lot of time in your entire week. So Andrea Waltz, the co-author of best-selling book Go for No, says, nothing will slow you down, take you off track, or keep you unproductive more than doing things which you both do not like to do and are not good at. Anything that falls into the category must be outsourced to someone else as soon as possible. The extent to which you continue on those types of tasks is what will hold you back from truly loving what you're doing and also being fulfilled. So that is why you would have, heard about this thing, a virtual assistant. It became so popular. Most of the people in America and Europe, they started offloading the mundane tasks to virtual assistant who would be in India, China, and some of these low-cost countries. If you have to make a travel booking, why should you be looking at the different websites, trying to find which is the cheapest fare and then book that ticket? This entire activity might take you half an hour to 1 hour. If you have to, ship something to some place, again, why should you be looking at which is the best shipping company that I can do this? So the virtual assistant's job is to offload all those routine activities which do not really need your time and effort. And that, I believe, is a very, very smart thing to do. In fact, this reminds me of one employee in America. He was voted as the best employee of the year for a couple of years in a row. He was a software programmer, and his efficiency and work was always found to be the best. But one day, the CIO or the CTO of that company found that there was a lot of data or communication which was happening with one of the servers in China. And then it was discovered that this guy, his salary was about 200,000 US dollars, and he would outsource the entire work to somebody in China and pay him $50,000. An entire day, all he would do is come to his desk, use social media, do WhatsApp, do all these things. So he would just while away entire time during the day and do nothing else. And that is what led to him getting fired from this company, because it was against the company policy that he outsourced the work without their knowledge. But if you look at it from another angle, he was one of the smartest guys in that company, because he was able to outsource the activity which somebody could have done more efficiently and at a lesser cost. Now, we've already talked about the power hour. We obviously talked about how important it is to have a successful start to our morning, how we start our day. And whether you take, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tony Robbins, and any other successful people, one of the key habits they have, which is helping them improve their productivity and efficiency, is that how they utilize their morning. So that is something which we can learn from them. Like we said, if you're a part of 5 a.m. club, which most of you are already doing very well, then that is wonderful. They hydrate themselves a lot by drinking water, maybe 3 to 4 liters of water minimum every single day. They eat a healthy breakfast, although each one has a different definition of healthy. They exercise in the morning, they meditate, they write a journal or read something, which we have all talked about. So again, this power hour in the morning is very, very important to have an amazing day that you're going to have. Another way to remember what you have to do in the morning to have a great, wonderful start to your morning is learn this acronym SAVERS, where S stands for silence. That means whether you're doing meditation, whether you're being grateful, whether you're doing prayer. So S is for silence, A is for affirmations, which is obviously what we would like to achieve related to our goals and priorities. V is for visualization, E is for exercise, R is for reading, and S is for scribing or journaling. So remember this. This is again a golden nugget which all of you will be able to make use of. Savers will save your day every single day. And another amazing fact which you will learn from these people is that the most productive people take breaks very often. Some people have this rule of taking breaks every 45 minutes. Some people have a rule of taking break every 90 minutes. So everyone has to recharge their batteries. And this is called the pulse and pause. The idea is that whenever you do some high intensity, high focus work, you should be able to unwind after some time. Otherwise, your efficiency starts dropping down. This is also called the Pomodoro method, wherein you set a timer for 25 minutes, work on a single task with full concentration, and then take a 5 minutes break, get up, move around, have some water, and repeat the cycle. So again, people who are actively working right now can try this out. This is really going to help your concentration and focus. Even students who are preparing for higher studies, who are, doing those certifications. In fact, there's a girl who's part of our community. She is doing her CA exams. And she also used to feel that, she was not able to study for longer duration of time. And again, I recommended the same thing to her, that maybe read for 45 minutes to 1 hour max, take a break, absorb whatever you have done, and then start again. So in India, again, many people feel that if you study for 5 hour, 10 hour at a stretch, you are really doing a great job. But that is not something which we would like to encourage. And that is something which is not proven by the experience of these successful people. Now, another interesting thing, the E-3C system, wherein E stands for energy, and the 3 C's are capture, calendar, and concentrate. So you can increase your productivity by improving your energy and focus. We've already talked about that. It can improve your productivity even up to 10 times. To improve your energy, get enough sleep, have healthy food, exercise consistently, maintain your morning rituals, and again, highly successful people, pulse and pause. We talked about taking those breaks so that you can have a peak and then have a small break and then again go back to that stage. And we've already talked about capture, which is note down all the important ideas that you get in a notebook or a notepad. Have a calendar instead of a to-do list, and concentrate on one task at a time. Another productivity hack is your mobile device. Turn off all notifications as far as possible, maybe unless You have the power to allow notifications from some important people. It could be your boss, it could be your wife, it could be your XYZ. But other than that, many people, we are all part of so many groups. And if you allow notifications to come in, you will get disturbed all the time. So that is why I always switch off group notification. Unless I'm looking at my phone, only then I look at all the groups, what messages are coming in. But otherwise, I don't get notifications in any of the groups. Okay. So this is again a very, very powerful tool to improve your efficiency. In summary, we can cure procrastination, habit of delaying things through our time travel technique, which we spoke about, and number of techniques that I shared with you today. You can save the 8 hours with those 3 questions. Identify your top priority for the day and try and complete it first thing in the morning. Try to have discipline in your emails so that you clear your emails before you go out every single day. We've just spoken about the E3 system, which can boost your productivity by up to 10 times. Leave work on time without feeling guilty. Run meetings like Apple, Google, and Virgin, and conquer social media distractions. So before I invite your comments, before I, share your feedback or comments, there's something I wanted to share with you, which I have already sent to many of you, and some of the people, like Vikram said, they have already confirmed their interest in joining this program. It's called Mastermind Group. In order to achieve maximum results in any area of our life, we need to be constantly growing and learning rather than getting stuck in same things that we are doing every single day. By assembling a group of people from different walks of life, different professions, we end up having different perspectives and fresh new ideas that we may have never thought before. So that is why, to help us think outside the box, there's something called Mastermind Group, which is not, again, very, very prevalent in India, but it is something which is very popular outside. And this is something which was advocated by Napoleon Hill in his book, Think and Grow Rich. Some of the richest Americans almost 100 years ago, Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Harvey Firestone, they were all part of a mastermind group. That is how they become so successful. And they knew that a mastermind group can focus special energy on our efforts in the form of knowledge, resources, and spiritual energy. The objectives are participants will become aware of the benefits of being open to others' ideas and the power of the group. You also gain accountability so that you can share your feedback on the progress that you're making in each of the mastermind group meetings that we are going to hold. So I'm not going to share anything more other than what I wanted to share just now. If you are interested in joining this mastermind group, which is going to be a very, very, close-knit program, we are going to have only 5 to 6 people in the mastermind group. So write to me, or you can WhatsApp me on this number, and we will then take it forward from there. So now let me invite your comments and feedback on the secrets of time management. What were the key things that you picked up from today's chat? What were the things which you really liked? And I would be happy to hear from all of you. Thank you, Dr. Jasbir. We'll get back to you.
Thank you, Ji.
Thank
The
you.
time management, time priority management was really wonderful. Contents are really valuable. Information given is real extraordinary.
Thank you,
Highly
sir.
indebted for your mentorship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, it is really good session, sir.
Right.
Actually, we learned from you how to manage the time now in various methods.
Right.
The tools given by shared by you is very fantastic. Actually, the people who are already experienced, we
Yeah.
have to use to make it our time successful effectively, sir. We will do it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And like I said, these things are not developed by me. I have
Yeah, yeah.
only shared with you what I learned, and I thought it is going to be very, very useful for all of you. Again,
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
many
You're right.
times we feel, if had I known this, 15 years earlier, 20 years earlier, where would I have been? But it
Yeah.
is better late than never. We always can start implementing new things in our life and making a difference. So
Correct.
even if you are able to implement few of the things that you learned in this session, I'm sure it can really boost your productivity and efficiency, like we spoke about, which is the main intent of the session today.
Correct. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Venkaramana.
Thank you. Thank you,
Uh,
sir. Thank you.
Sir, good evening. This is Nimmi here.
Yeah, hi, Nimi. Good evening.
Sir, actually, I have the habit of, postponing things to next day. If something I couldn't do it that particular day, I used to postpone it to next day or 2 days later. Now
Right.
I understood how to adjust that. Instead of postponing, it's always better to cut short the time. That's what you said, right?
Right.
So I'm going to implement that. Let's see
Great.
if it works out.
No, if, don't say if. I think,
Okay, the
yeah,
if clause is cut, then yeah, it will work
maybe
Definitely
out.
it will work out.
maybe I have not taught you well.
No. Maybe the student is weak. That's why, not the teacher.
You have to say, I will make it happen. That is the spirit
Yes,
we all
yes,
need to have.
yes.
Again, I read one very interesting example. When we go into, let's say, a restaurant, and some people are fond of French fries. When you
Mhm.
order a burger, French fries are given along with that. So
Yes,
this lady, what she used to do is she would pour a lot of salt on the French fries so that she could not eat them. That is
okay.
how you build your resilience. We talked about the pain and pleasure. If you
Mhm.
are tempted, if you are not able to control yourself to do something, make sure either there's a reward or there's a punishment. Punishment we have already talked about, not in the real
Yes,
sense, but something you can feel the pain of by depriving yourself something you like, and that is what will motivate you to actually go ahead and execute it. So there are so many
yes,
techniques which we shared today, Nimi. I'm sure you will
yes,
be able
sir.
to implement some of
Yes,
them. Yeah.
yes, sir. I'll implement. I'll
Thank
implement.
you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you,
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful session.
thank you.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, hi Padma, good evening.
Yeah. So, sir, even I would like to tell you that this session is an eye opener for me, and it
Yeah.
came at the right time. Actually,
Oh,
yeah, I'm actually waiting for some session like this because I always like whenever I do the office work, I always feel that there's something which is left. Always, it
hmm.
doesn't get over completed at the end of the day. So this calendar thing that we need to procrastination, I was doing it almost every time, that I will start it from tomorrow, so I never used to put exercise always in my calendar, but that
Yeah,
never used to happen. But
right.
now I know how to cut short it. That was an eye opener. And also you mentioned that we should also say no to things.
Yeah,
So some things which I should learn. Yeah, that
great,
was also one more eye opener for me.
great.
And I was really surprised on the fact, sir, that productive people take more breaks, which
Yeah,
was yeah, I was thinking that they take less breaks, but this they take more breaks and then recharge themselves.
correct.
Yeah,
Great. Yeah,
and the
yeah,
emails part, I always think you like my entire day in office, almost 8-9 hours goes on emails, because I always think that only when I answer all my emails, I'm done. Like every 10 minutes, I used to, watch the emails. That's why all the work used to get postponed. After office hours, I sit and keep doing the work. But now I know how to prioritize things.
great. So you are going to be a super manager, Padma, and I'm sure you can possibly teach a few things to your CEO as well.
Sure, sure, sir. Thank you so much for the
And
session. And yeah, it was really, really very great at the right time.
thank you.
Thank you.
And with the
Thank you.
permission of Rajkumar ji, I'd like to say, what he shared in one of his sessions earlier, that earlier he would bring a lot of his work home and, work till late night. But after, waking up early and doing his regular routine, he was able to finish the work, what he used to do earlier in 4 hours in just 2 hours. Again,
Yeah.
that is something we spoke
In a half
about
of the
today.
hour, sir.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you, Mr. Rajkumar, again for sharing your amazing feedback.
So,
Yeah, that is really powerful, and that is why we said the importance of power hour is so very important in our life.
Yeah, namaskar.
Yeah, Alok ji, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
Long time.
Long time, yes. I was developing something
Okay.
and got some success.
Oh, fantastic. Very good.
Small success, but yes.
No, every success is worth
So,
celebrating.
yeah.
So you should celebrate every success, big or small, and then I'm sure that is something which will inspire you to achieve even more.
Yeah. What's my experience is like I have been doing being in project management and being in design side also. Both of you, that one thing I have got very from the beginning I was in design and engineering. So first thing, deep work.
Can you be please little louder? Your voice is a little low.
Yeah. Now it is a bit louder.
Yeah.
Right? Audible. Yeah. So what I was tell that in the initial phase of my life, around 16 years, I was in design. So one thing came very clearly: you have to have a deep work. Everything will have to be perfect, correct to the finest point,
Right.
so that it is implemented without error. And there is
Right.
no at the time of implementation, there are minimum amount of reworks.
Right.
Because they are costly then.
Right.
They involve a lot of money. So first thing that we learned was deep work. And the second thing came project management. Beyond a point, you grow out, you become a project manager. Project management mein gaye. So what you have to do? You have to do a 50 things list in a day.
Right.
To-do list comes in your life.
Right.
And you are constantly checking from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. till night. Yeah, ticking out one to one. Sab ho gaya, nahi ho. And something always gets carried. So what you are first, you are in deep work. That's something which is creative and something which is correct and something which is perfect. There are 3 points to it. The second part is you are contacting every point, communication. You are giving correct instruction. You are controlling everything. That's the second part of the life. And that is how most of the entrepreneurs also work. That they have to do something creative also, and then they have to do something of touching all the points, managing all the points, controlling all the points if they are solopreneurs. So
Right.
it is important that the moment you get certain kind of convenience in your hand of paying someone, you shall have help, that is outsourcing. So don't outsource. Either you can outsource or you can have someone with you who can help it out. So help is important. This 10 years ago, somebody from KPMG also told me कि आप कुछ नहीं करते तो driver रखो.
Right.
You don't do anything, at least give yourself time to think. Don't go to work by driving yourself, even though you like driving.
Correct. No, I agree. That's
So you have
such a waste of time in India, especially if you have to drive for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours stuck in traffic.
So at least you keep.
And nowadays you don't even need a driver. You can always call an Uber.
Uber and Ola. Right. Yeah, that's right. So that is how you save time. Have some amount of more communication time. जब गाड़ी में phone करोगे, you can scan newspapers, something, or your own papers.
Correct.
So that's one way to save time, because all this time management is for saving time. Right. So what I have, but there is a problem part. Now I'm coming to problem part. What I did in my life grew, how I grew, I shared. What comes the problem part? So I always came from this deep part, and I never left design in my work. Whatever project I do, I take full charge of the design. Each and everything of the design always goes out through my hand. I shall be knowing, I shall be convinced somewhere, my gut shall be sealing, I shall be telling my people, okay. So everything which has a big money involved with it and has a design component gets my attention. And so what I've got, the same thing as you told. The moment I reach office, the first thing I try to do is solve the important thing. And in doing the important thing, I go into the design, or I go into some kind of such thing, problem solving, finding new things, finding, coordinating problems. What I found that if I put a calendar type of thing, I started using calendar for it, that okay, this slot is for this, and that work doesn't get completed in that, and then there is something next planned. Then I have found that because you are in a momentum in the of doing that first part complete, so your slot gets completely topsy-turvy. As you told, you don't avoid anything, shorten the time for the next one, but do it. But say first thing was an important thing, second thing was also an important thing, third things were meeting. Normally I kept all the meetings in the second half,
Right.
right? Because when people are sleepy, it is better to hold meeting and also to pull their legs that you are sleepy. Okay. So I did all the meetings that time, but what I found कि पूरा एक बार मेरा एक सिस्टम अगर मैंने सुबेरे उसको ठीक से अपने स्लॉट में पूरा नहीं किया, तो कोई ना कोई दूसरी चीज लिंगर करेगी, और वो लिंगर करेगी तो पूरे वीक लिंगर कर जाएगी, क्योंकि वो एक जगह से एक स्लॉट से निकल गई है। और उसके बाद वो मतलब कई दफे वो मैंने देखा कि वो महीने तक मैं उस वर्क को फिर ये नहीं दे पाया, क्योंकि आवर वर्क इज ऑलवेज a combination of both attention, deep attention, as well as urgency management.
So
तो
fair
कितने
enough.
भी आदमी, मेरे पास
हाँ जी, हाँ
7 आदमी हो, 8 आदमी हो, 20 आदमी हो, कितना भी उसको ये करूं, लेकिन अगर इफ यू वांट के यू आर इन कंट्रोल ऑफ द थिंग्स एंड यू आर इन नो ऑफ द थिंग्स, तो मैंने देखा है ग्रीड है, दो चीज की ग्रीड है, परफेक्शन की ग्रीड, ज्यादा नॉलेज की ग्रीड, कंट्रोल की ग्रीड, ये सारे ग्रीड्स जितने हैं कि ये मैं कितनी लेवल तक इसको मैनेज करूंगा, ग्रीड के ऊपर पावर पाना बहुत जरूरी है। नहीं तो आई हैव स्पेंट माय लाइफ 2011 टिल 2018, 7 से 8 साल मैंने ऐसा कि मैंने न्यूज़पेपर नहीं पढ़ा, मैंने टीवी नहीं देखा, 24 घंटे अपने काम में लगा रहा, और एवरी मोमेंट मैंने इम्प्लीमेंटेशन की बेसिस पे बोलूंगा तो थाउजेंड्स ऑफ करोर्स ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट वी हैव इम्प्लीमेंटेड। लेकिन मेरी लाइफ में मैंने 24 घंटे, लोगों ने कहा ना कि पहले लोग बोलते थे, जैसे ट्रम्प भी बोलेगा, हम 16 घंटे काम करके निकले हैं अपनी लाइफ में, हम 18 घंटे पर डे काम करके निकले हैं लाइफ में, वी हैव 80 आवर्स वीक। तो हमने सब कुछ वो किया, वी फाउंड
आलोक जी,
कुछ
if you
बच
can,
जाता है,
हाँ,
फिर भी
quickly,
कुछ बच जाता है।
quickly just
वो-
make your
हाँ,
point. Yeah, I think
my
everybody
idea
else.
is कि
हाँ,
in this practical world where you have to have a deep work, you have to have a urgency or some kind of firefighting, troubleshooting, coordination, communication, and relationship, deep work, communication and coordination, 3 things, ये तीनों जहां पे आपको मैनेज करने हैं। मैं देखा है कि डीप वर्क करने में अगर आपका कोई एक चीज जो है वो पोस्टपोन हो गया, फिर आपकी कंट्रोल से बाहर निकल जाता है। आपको कैसे अपनी डीप वर्क वाले सिस्टम को कैसे कंट्रोल करना है, या मैं कहूँ तो ग्रीड को कैसे कंट्रोल करना है। मैंने दूसरे लेवल पे बहुत सोच के देखा, तो ये लगा कि सब कुछ ग्रीड की वजह से हो रहा है। ये 3 चीज की जो ग्रीड बताई थी कि ये 3 ग्रीड की वजह से हो रहा है, तो इनको कैसे कंट्रोल करना है, अभी तक तो नहीं है मेरे पास कोई फॉर्मूला।
no, fair enough. The point is you have to improve every single day. That's the bottom line. If you are, whether it is greed, whether it is power, whether it is hunger for something else, just become a better version of yourself. Whatever you are learning every single day, just trying to be better tomorrow from what you have learned today. So if there's a continuous improvement, everything in life will turn around. Thank you. Anybody else who wants to say something? Bharati says excellent session, thank you. Asha says excellent session. Jyotish says thank you. Surajit says, can you suggest some books? Surajit, you can write to me separately. What kind of books are you looking for? Cynthia says, very good session. Thank you, Cynthia. Nice to hear from you.
So what I get from you कि मैं अपनी डीप वर्क की आदत तो नहीं छोड़ पाऊंगा, बिकॉज वो मेरे अंदर है, तो लेकिन फिर भी एक कॉन्शियस होना है और डेलीगेट जितना हो सकता है वो करना है, डेलीगेट में कंट्रोल के ग्रीड को कम करना है।
Yeah, no, I think if you watch this presentation again, I'm sure you'll get many ideas on what you can change or improve, right?
Right.
Thank you. So Thank you everybody for your wonderful participation. I enjoy doing these sessions with all of you, and I want to keep sharing. I want to keep doing all these things. And most importantly, if any of you has a specialization in any of the fields which you feel you can share with others, do reach out to me and let me know what is it that you feel you can share with others. And if appropriate, we will try and schedule that as well along with whatever we've been doing. So, but most importantly, please continue to share your achievements, your success stories in the Success Club so that all of us can get inspired from each other. Okay. So if there is any parting comment, last comment, we can hear that. Otherwise, thank you everyone for your wonderful participation. Take care.
Yes,
Good
sir.
night. Yeah,
Can I
Vikram, go
put in
ahead.
something, sir?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
go ahead.
So, the last statement, sorry, I didn't join earlier, but the basic thing is what I found out is every session of yours is really wonderful. There's no words to actually express my, kind of gratitude towards you. But one thing what I found is every time you take this kind of session, the way I always have something, a void in my body, telling that why I couldn't learn this prior to this. As you very rightly said, if I would have known 10, 15 years back, I would have been a better person now. Okay,
Yeah.
but better late than never. But
Correct.
it is really a great thing to have you as a coach and who's guiding us to a right path in a stepwise basis. See, we have learned something today. Tomorrow you add on something. Third day you add on something. The thing is going on. So this community should be alive and all of us should grow together, sir. That is what I wish.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fully agree with you.
Your voice, Arun Sahab, is very motivating. It always keeps motivating us that do honest introspection and move forward. Do
Thank
honest
you. Thank you.
introspection.
Thank you very much.